For the discussion segment of Good Morning Anambra Thursday edition. How are you? Good to have you here. My name is Joma, and this morning we're going to look at a nagging topic. I'm sure most of you will even want to tune off, but then you just have to talk about your problem. Let's see if it will go. Okay, we're going to look at the recent price in fuel, the causes, and then the consequences. Okay, this is what we are cut out for this morning, and I have experts that has joined me to look at that because I don't even know why we are where we are. I have Engineer Bertrand Asebe. Engineer Bertrand Asebe is the MD CEO of Bevic Electrojet, and then he also has a a gas plant. Okay, thank you very much for joining us, Engineer Asebe.
Good morning, viewers. Glad to be with you this morning.
Okay. I also have Obinna Jase Mwabudolo. He's a petroleum sector stakeholder. Good morning, Obinna.
Good morning, in Anambra.
Okay, we also call him coach. Coach, you are going to coach us on how to get fuel cheaper this time around. Okay, welcome. Now, you heard what we said. We're going to look at the recent price in fuel, the causes and the consequences. Let me start with you, Engineer Asibe. How did we get here in the first place?
Well, there's this saying that when you fail to plan, you have really laid the foundation for failure. So, it's really difficult to understand why we are where we are. Very difficult because we have the resources, both human resource, material resource, good environment to engender a free-flowing economy in oil and gas to a point that the citizens can enjoy their endowment. People benefit from what they do. If we look at other countries of the world that have oil, look into their life, like Aramco, Angola, and some of these, what is happening in Nigeria, okay, is quite strange. It's extraordinarily abnormal. So we can't easily say this is the reason, all right? However, if we have all these, and before now, we've been doing very well, we've been performing very well, but suddenly, after a few years back, we failed to supply our needs in fuel, failed to extract and export what we were doing before and build our economy. Is no longer happening. So it requires a serious investigation, and we have to tell ourselves the truth. It's either that na go bad ronko or okbuisi amarapo. So something wrong is really happening. Okay, because there is an adage from my Professor Keja, that says in one of his lectures in 1980, says, Nigeria is a place where nothing works. Even when an empty aeroplane is there for two people, they will still rush and crash into it. The two people. So we wonder why we are where we are today. Okay? So if we have to answer the question, why, it all means we have to check into our production. Do we have enough fuel? Enough crude. We have enough crude. What do we do in reproduction of fuel? What do we do? How much do we do? What is our plan in production, first and foremost? And we say initially 2.2 million barrels per day From there, it came down to just a mere 700 barrels a day. Then our refineries went comatose, the 4 refineries. Okay, we no longer produce finished products.
No. This figure that you just gave, is it production of crude oil or the finished products?
Production of crude oil.
So the crude oil is down there. So
yeah.
The extraction of it.
Yes,
dropped.
as it stands now.
Why? Because they don't have machinery to extract, so they don't have personnel. What is the problem? Why did they have to drop from 2,000 to 700?
That is efficiency. Our effectiveness, commitment in doing our work in oil exploration, prospecting, and eventual production of crude fell, right? Then we started importing. So a lot of things are really going wrong, okay? That to the point that our people started importing crude. To the point, what we have at a stance today. Well, I don't want us to mix it. Our refineries are not working.
We know.
No. Our crude is not sufficient for the refineries, let alone for exports.
But we still export crude to import finished products.
Yes, you import crude because you want to use it to bring in finished product. Not that it is enough for export, but you just use it to exchange for finished product.
Are you saying that some of the finished products that are coming into this country are not basically the crude that left this country?
Yes, exactly that, yes. Most often, we send out this crude in exchange for finished products. You can see the failure. You can see the loophole created. You can see that we have refineries. Nobody is supplying anything to them. And they will say they are repairing. I worked in a refinery for 14 good years. It was effective. From 1990 till 2008, refineries were producing, they were working. Okay, and gradually they claim they are doing turnaround maintenance. From there, no sincerity in the engineering aspect. You say you want to do turnaround maintenance, you compromise the standard. In engineering, you don't compromise. Whatever you send in, garbage out. You get it? So it is not easy. You can't lie. It's not politics. So that is what is happening to us. We, out of our own greed, destroyed our oil and gas economy. So in final analysis, our refineries are not working because they don't want it to work. Dangote refinery is in place to help us out. We are frustrating it from doing the right thing. Dangote refinery alone is enough to give us the required and the right quantity of finished product. When I mean finished product, I mean diesel, AGO, PMS, low power, high power, all these things are the things we need from byproducts from all these things. Okay.
We are coming back to you to find out why they don't want these refineries to work. But before then, let's finish giving background of how we got to where we are. From what he has just said, is it possible that Nigeria, if everything is put in place, can harness the crude they have, produce it here, use it here, and still export it? Otherwise, what brought us to this point where we are?
Okay, because I've actually taken us from where we started to give us a clearer picture of how we got here. And if you look at the background they gave us, you find out that the major problem we have here is the system. That's the major. We have a very unsincere system. And it's that unsincere system that have taken us. And you know one thing about, just like lies, when you lie, you need another lie to cover that lie. And when you continue like that, it continues to get complicated. So what is happening now is something that they started wrongly from the beginning is now getting complicated, and that's how Nigerians are facing what they are facing. But what you ask, is it possible? The answer is yes. If you start now to start getting things right, everything will still be normal, but it's going to take a whole lot of work. And it's also going to take a whole lot of boldness, because you know when things are not so, and when these are you've empowered them so much that they can use that empowerment in Yefa to make sure that nothing works. So, but if it's being possible, but he said that even exploring of crude have reduced, and that's why even what we are exporting is even low. It's not like we're no longer getting crude.
And that's why I had that question. Is it that the crude is finished?
That's the thing. But what you say now, it means that we still have enough.
But we
crude.
don't have enough equipment.
And I know recently we've been discovering other places in this country that they saw crude.
We have oil here in Anambra.
So before now, it was only one side. It was only one side we used to get crude. But now we have it in so many other places. So it means that we have more than enough service to be able to get as much as well. But one thing I think that is not connecting with this entire system is there is this kind of monopoly. There are people that are holding this oil sector. There are people that decide what happens. Because it's very, very obvious. I don't understand why something that we know that if we do this and do that, we are going to get this result. And we are finding it difficult to do. It's not as if that thing we say we'll do is difficult to do, but we are still finding it difficult to do those things. It means there are people that are holding this country at ransom. You understand? So for us to get that right, we need a very bold step. Not people that are bold, but they're also looking for their own pocket too. They're looking for how to use their boldness to continue to acquire for themselves. And that's when we'll get the result. But if it's possible, it's possible. That's the truth.
So
okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
Before now, like I said earlier, we had enough even to export. Port Harcourt refinery was there purely for exports. Kaduna, Warri, and the second refinery Port Harcourt were for local consumption. Then we were able to determine the local consumption and could produce enough, right? Then we had the infrastructures for storage, for transportation. We had what we call depots all over the country to distribute this fuel. All these systems have already been laid down and they were working perfectly. If a country that is sincere, we either improve on existing infrastructure, existing facilities to attend to our need, but instead it was abandoned and made moribund. And they are now trying to solve a higher problem through unclassical, unclassified, and unethical practice. Okay.
Are you sure they want to solve it?
Okay.
Just pray.
And it cannot solve it because they are not going through the right way. All right.
You think they don't know
there
the right
is there is what we call a way of doing things. If it's we say a culture in society, we say this is our culture, this is how we do it. In engineering, we say that this is our standard operation. Operational standard, which has to be followed. And it's only when you follow it, you maintain sustenance, and there will be answer to it. So when we had all these infrastructure and facilities before, everything were working. Not that we don't know what to do. I worked both in upstream and downstream. I am a petroleum engineer, a geophysicist. We prospect. I know how we gather the baskets. of wells. Which one is mature for drilling? I know how much Nigeria was producing, right? Our flow stations were bubbling. We have so many oil wells that are alive, producing. And many more are being discovered. Apart from that, a lot more are being bequeathed to Nigerian NPDC or NNPC from IOCs so that they keep running it. So a lot of things have been added, and we expect that with that move, volume of oil production would have doubled. But instead of doubling, it reduced. It was reduced by half. All right? So
why
something,
do you think it was reduced?
what is happening? So each time they were saying oil theft, or some people technically and governmentally or in any way decided to make it as a rule, produce this quantity, we take this out of it for our use. Okay? Instead of calling it oil theft. So when you are not doing the right thing, you can't expect the things to happen right. So we are not doing it right the way oil and gas business is being run. We are not doing it in Nigeria, and we should not expect anything until they change. Until our attitude to the practice is changed to the normal. So Nigerians are holding themselves down. You can imagine we are hoping for Dangote Refinery to augment local production so that we can stop importation. Till today, they have refused to allow local refinery work. If it worked, and Dangote is worked, and we have our crude in country, we don't import. So the issue of cost of transportation, issue of dollarization and effect, we operate at naira level, not at dollar level. We will feed ourselves first before we talk of exporting. By way things stand, we could export and have enough for this country, make our earnings, generate enough to boost our foreign exchange. But these things have failed. There is a lot to it. There is a great fear in oil and gas industry. It is being hijacked, and the things are not being done right. I know a lot because I was once part of the business of production.
Being hijacked by Nigerians or?
Being hijacked by strange policies from the leaders. By some strange policies from the leaders. I'm not mincing words. I think Dangote finished, ready to produce, give us fuel. The issue is who will buy it and who will distribute it. Why are they trying to checkmate him? Because
private business.
No, because if you supply crude to Dangote, yet at local price, and if we are a patriotic country, the price will not be done at international level because it is our own. We only give him at cost that we take care of production costs here, and he takes it, and which would cause Dangote to sell his products at a very cheap, affordable price. But because if he does that and it continues, those importing will not be able to import again. And that is where they make their money. When they import, they make a lot of money. And they put the price at their own. So Dangote is like...
And they still collect...
Okay. So that is why they are creating confusion in Dangote's plant, so that under that confusion, they can create another hybrid of policy that will favor them. Up till now, Nigeria has not come out with a lay down strong policy how this products will be distributed and sold. They have not come because they are still studying the way they can handle it and make more money. All right, so that is why what is happening. Now, Dangote has said NNPC is sole distributor. NNPC say no. The marketers say they are interested in distribution, buying from NNPC. Nothing has actually been finalized. They are still dilly-dallying, trying to see a leeway to create high price. They want to make sure that price of fuel remains high, so that when they import, they will still sell and make their gains. So there's no way Dangote fuel could come down.
I think the issue is actually beyond importation.
Oh.
Our issue is beyond importation. Our issue is beyond a lot of things. Most of the things Nigerians are seeing as the problem, refinery that wants to have a refinery, everything will be fine, and all those things. I think the issue is beyond that. And I'll still say it again. What is holding us is beyond all these things we are looking at. Yes. You understand? Okay, let's take for example Dangote we're talking about today now. Dangote, we understand, has started giving out gas, right? Dangote is giving out gas now. Dangote is already giving aviation fuel.
Gas, you mean diesel?
Since when? Aviation fuel. Since when? When he started giving aviation fuel, we've known that now it's more than 3 months now. Now, have the price of fuel, have the price of flights gone down? The answer is no. Come on, man. Every step Nigerians are taking, every step the government is taking, and every step individual is taking, what Nigerians want to understand, what is the end point is this? How much?
How does it reflect in my daily life?
How much is this thing? Now, flights, if you want to take flight today, it's still very expensive. Now, go to filling stations to buy gas. Gas is still in 1,000 something. So we've not even seen the effect of the Dangote refinery or what is bringing out to the market, because there are no sincerity.
There's no sincerity in their
policy.
policy.
There are powers that controlling this thing. Because there was even a time he lamented on air about this entire system. That shows you that somebody at his level and his capacity to lament means that situations are so beyond him. So it's just, if you want to talk about importation, even if we stop, you said the other day, Hagane was the crude na naira. Have anything changed? Nothing has changed. Instead, NNPC now moved its price to 800 and something. That simply means
crude. Are the finished products?
Finished product, the one they sell in filling stations.
But are they started supplying him crude?
No, I'm talking of filling stations.
Okay.
I'm talking of filling stations, because let me tell you, what a Nigerian wants to hear now is, will we sell fuel 200 naira?
That's all.
Will we sell fuel 400 naira? If you tell him that all these mathematics you are doing now will result to Nigerians buying fuel at 400 or 200 naira, that is when it makes sense. That you are telling him Dangote has a refinery, it's not their business. Their business is how much is fuel at the filling station. So how does all those things translate? So at the end of the day, they said the Nigeria government, federal government will have stake of 20%. From there, they said 7.2. All those things, Nigerians are not interested. What they when they go to the fuel, when they go to a station to buy fuel and they see 1,000 something, they don't take Nigerians serious. They don't take what the government is saying serious. The only day you will know that Nigerians, but unfortunately, the way they have made us pass through, the day they will come out and say fuel is 700, now we'll start celebrating. But that's true.
It's place they have turned on. They know what they're doing now.
Something good has happened.
Maybe they will use that for a campaign.
We had scarcity almost like 4 weeks, almost like 1 month. We had scarcity almost like 1 month. People now felt like, okay, things are going to normalize. Maybe fuel will start coming in now. Suddenly, NNPC now said their price is now 8 something. That means that idea of having scarcity for a long time was strategic. To me, I see it as a strategic move. Because if it wasn't a strategic move, because I've sat down to calculate, so if we are buying fuel 7 something and suddenly we hear that price of fuel is now 900, Nigerians will react. But now we have scarcity from 700 to 750 to 800 to 850.
So once they can bring it down by anything, we will rush it.
We will now hear 8 something. Nigerians didn't even notice that NNPC have changed their price. So this is how they say. So there are powers that be. Even if we stop importation, what will happen? What is happening will continue to happen. Even if Dangote starts supplying the entire of Nigerians, what is happening until that powers that be and say, oh yeah, because one, monopoly in a market is also a very big risk. Anytime there's monopoly, it gives whoever that has the market the leverage to decide the price of the market.
Was that what Dangote tried to break, and then they are after him? Because if you allowed him to start functioning, it would have been a competition with NNPC.
It's not competition. To NNPC, any of our refineries, anyone working. There's no competition. NNPC.
But then NNPC is still in control. The one that goes out and the one that comes in, and even fixing of pricing.
The only thing NNPC is doing is that you have been subsidizing what they are selling. That's why you come to NNPC, you see 500, you go to a normal place, you see 900, 800 and something. Because they've been subsidizing what they are selling. Because on a normal sense, if you want to know what the price should be, you got to check what gas is. Because gas is not subsidized. So that's what fuel should also be.
Gas, you mean diesel?
Diesel, yes. Okay. You understand? Diesel is not subsidized. So normally, if you want to talk about that, if NNPC sell even the 800, what it simply means, what I see this their thing is, maybe they are giving out 500 and something, and then I say, okay, that means you are subsidizing the rest. It's okay, I can't subsidize. Let's say I was subsidizing 14 naira. Say, let me now be subsidizing 20 naira. Let me put 20 naira back to the consumers. That's what I understand it to be.
Okay, let's talk about subsidy. Asibe, is petroleum subsidized in this country? If yes, why are we still where we are?
The answer to your question is difficult in the sense that things are not the same in Nigeria. What works for other countries might not work here in Nigeria because of our attitude to life, right? So subsidy by its own is a socio-economic tool to control products, to control service availability, especially for the masses. Okay, you could most overseas countries, school bills are subsidized. School fees are subsidized. Government will buy everything and make them to sell it at a control price so that it will get to the reach of the people, because that is the only way you can reach out to the masses, because the government is for the masses. The government is about attending, serving the people, make them happy, enjoy their country. It's not for a personal or a group of people. So in our country, we have not seen such.
Why can't we have such people in government?
So we have not seen such idea in our country manifesting. Rather, subsidy is like a dream of a fantasy of a kind, because you say there is subsidy in fuel, and because of that, fuel is being sold at this price. So what is the difference? What is actually the difference? Nobody can tell. Till today, they are telling us there is subsidy. If there is subsidy, then we are producing.
Are they telling us that subsidy? I think there's confusion here. The president came in on May 29th and said there's no more subsidy. That was last year. That subsidy is gone. And now, all of a sudden, they're still talking about subsidy. Some say that, okay, it's gone, but it's being done, quietly from somewhere. What is going on in this country?
I think we have different levels of subsidy. We have different levels.
Well, he said it's totally gone, and when he came back, we didn't know. Do you understand?
Yes.
So what is really going on? We don't understand. Who is after the life of Nigerians? Why can't we have a good life?
If there is subsidy, we will be made to know that the cost of fuel pump price could be 1,000 naira. But because of subsidy, it is now being sold at 700. That is interpretation. Government has subsidized it for us so that we can afford it. But before subsidy, during the subsidy regime, as they told us, we were buying at 250. There was subsidy then. It rose to 600. They say it is because of dollar rise. And they kept giving us reasons. It kept growing at a point. couldn't find any other reason. They said, okay, they have removed subsidy. Rather, that the subsidy was removed and it was at 700. Now they added subsidy again, which means they now have intention of reduce the cost for us to afford it. Instead of the price reducing, it skyrocketed to 1,000.
They added officially or unofficially. Okay.
The price skyrocketed. So we can't balance it. It is not logical at all. It's completely illogical. There's nothing you can equate. Economic policy can.
Somebody once said that Nigeria has defied every economic policy.
No economic policy works in Nigeria. You say that in supply and demand, when the demand rises higher than the supply, the supply, when the demand price goes up, isn't it? And then when the demand is price will do what? Come down. But in Nigeria, price will be going up.
What goes up never
comes
down here.
Will come go, but price keeps on going. Even when you say we are not buying again, the price keeps going. No economic policy works.
Even the law of gravity does not work here.
Work in Nigeria.
That what goes up must surely come down.
So
not
Nigerians must ask themselves, what is wrong with us? What is happening to us? And investigate, sincerely stand out to remove this. If they didn't come out to stand it out, that thing will take them.
To me,
we swallow
them. When we are talking about subsidy, I don't really know much about the subsidy they pay to importers, but the little I know is the one I know they pay to marketers.
What they pay to marketers is transportation, what you call transportation costs.
It's just to make sure they maintain the same amount of money.
That is not subsidy. I think it's equalization. Yeah, equalization fee.
Okay, that one, whatever it's called, but at least that one I know. The effect of that money they were paying was not in the markets, because sometimes you find out that when you buy a product, you take it to a label for them to capture it. They capture it, you now carry it to your suppliers. Now, even after 5 months, you have not received the money for that one.
For the capture or for the transportation?
For the transportation money they're supposed to give you.
Yes.
So what now happens is that most people that do that, when they still come, they just take that one as money that government gives them. They still put that transportation on the product they bring in and put their price.
Yes, so yes.
But they will still pay them that transportation movement.
I don't know.
You should know.
Sometimes.
Do you know why I say that I don't know? Why I say that I don't know that there are some people that will tell you they've not received. There are some people that know how to do what others are doing to get their own.
And there are people that receive and still say that they have not received, and they still maintain the price they have put.
No, there will be. That's
so
what I'm
it
saying.
doesn't reflect in the products.
The thing there is this. If you pay them that stuff, if you pay them that money immediately, the product comes in. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's easier for the person to now plan his life with that money. But now, when 1 month, 2 months, the person has not received, 3 months, I don't even want to go far, but sometimes even 1 year you've not received it. You now be hearing that someone will tell you that government is owing them 70-something million, the other million, and his mind is not. If government finally pays, thank God. If the government doesn't pay, as far as it's concerned, he also realizes money from that. So all those things, you find out that some of them, I'm not using it to now compare it to what will likely be happening to. That even this thing they are being paid to. You may be surprised that the masses who are going to this buy fuel have already paid that money.
Yes.
Because government is not doing that as at when it's supposed to do it.
Yes. So
and they think it's not deliberate by government, so that you go on and do whatever you want to do with your products.
I don't think to say it's deliberate, but
so
I think the thing that they will have budget. I think they will have budget for this. But the thing there is this: there is always this thing in government that you must have to, go through this back door to be able to do. There's somebody that said in this country, if you want to get justice, you have to bribe to get justice. That's you know that this thing is the right thing, but don't just say because it's the right thing. You know that the right thing will be done. You understand? So it's possible that those people that are now going that way are people that when they get that budget, they use it and settle those ones. It's possible that people that could be getting their own in 1 week or even in 2 weeks. You understand? Okay. But other persons who now have to wait is any day they remember you, they will now settle you.
All right.
So what he's saying that you see all these things, there are agencies responsible for all this. Regulatory agencies from DPR down, they are there to regulate and ensure compliance to these policies. But these agencies have been politicized, bought over, and made to dance to the tune of government. We have the House of Rep, we have our legislators and other non-governmental organizations. All these are there to checkmate, control, and call to order any actions of the government. Okay? So if it didn't happen, then we continue having the problems we are having today. But let us know that if we didn't put an end to warfare will put an end to mankind.
That's too strong. Okay, when Dangote started about the kind of frustration he's receiving from the federal government concerning his refinery taking off, he made some accusations. Of course, he said that some people are doing this to make things difficult for him, and they still go out. He mentioned Malta and the whole lot of things to produce this thing and bring it in. So if you can do it there, why can't I do it here? And then this morning we saw what IMF said that this pricing you guys are crying about, it's not even enough. That is supposed to come up a bit. So right now I want to just look at the influence of IMF in all this, in the economic plan of Nigeria, especially when it comes to petroleum. What kind of influence do they have? I'm coming to you, Asibe.
Yeah?
Yes. The influence of IMF in what is going on in policies, especially as it concerns oil. Because this morning they said that this price that oil is at in Nigeria that we are crying about is not even up to the international market price. That means that you guys need to raise it up again. So even if you are dying, it's not our business, you have to meet up with what is supposed to be internationally.
Yeah, our take home or our income, our earning standard is very low. So when things are placed at a normal price, to us is exorbitant. Okay, a graduate overseas earns close to $300, $2,000, and so on, $5,000 a month. Convert it in our currency today. Can anyone be close to that?
Our graduates are earning 28 naira here.
So it all means our Nigeria is being paid to 8,000 naira. So that is what we earn. Then there's no way we
cannot buy you 10 liters of
fuel. So that is why we complain that it is expensive. If we are paid standard salaries compared with what a graduate is supposed to earn, you discover that actually things are not costly in Nigeria.
Everybody is not a graduate.
Because I'm using it as a reference. Okay. For example, overseas, if I bought a cloth like this, maybe $4 or $5, depends where you went to, some $25. Then if I come back to Nigeria here, I can't afford to buy with the same amount here in Nigeria because the price will look so high. So things are cheaper here in Nigeria than abroad. But the reason we have is that we are poorly paid, and as such, we cannot afford to buy this. So in IMF, they have rolled out their policy. If you want to build up your economy, you want to do this or that, there are certain practices, there are certain policies you have to introduce in your economics so that it will be able to comply with. Start getting loans for you to be able to get loans. And when they introduce such in Nigeria, it will not be handled properly.
Okay, let me pause you there. We're going to take a break and talk to some people. When we come back, we'll start concluding, okay?
When you heard that 1 liter of petrol is 1,000 and more, very shocking, right? I understand, because each time we fill our tank, our wallets get little bit lighter. Some people are frustrated, some people are worried, and a few are trying to figure out how to go out from this situation without breaking their banks. But no matter how it is, one thing is clear: this price increase affects all of us. So today, let's take a look at how people are coping and how they are going to survive. Join me. My name is Violet Chukwudozie.
First, I've seen the outcome of fuel, and then the effect is not like, it's not something, it's not a super story in which they will start telling you, no, it's reality, everybody is seeing it, everybody is seeing the effect. So, but then the disadvantages is getting out of hand because there is high increase in prices of goods and services. If the fuel price increase further, it might really affect the economy because there will be slow sales of goods, there will be slow in demand. In fact, the demand might drop to 10% out of 100 because people do not have the purchasing power anymore to, so that's it. When you have, for example, you have 10,000 naira to buy a particular item that you know is 10,000 naira, and getting to the market next day, they now tell you it's 20,000. It has discouraged your purchasing power.
I'm a driver. I will go to fuel. Fuel get 1,250. I don't want to wear your car. Now I just I go na boom madu because I know only see anya mela anya bele. Na biko. O titi ada anyi mma. I talk o chai ma abuola anyi ego fuel ka. I mo ba ni eme. I wan mutalo mo atodela ato. Oh, because I know your president. O na achi anyi ofuma. Ma mela anyi ebele. Ni be na ebe ife. Na atodela ato ebe ni na. Oh, na ka na ya. Chireke gozie ye. Na butola anyi ego fuel o 200 naira. I atekwa ya ko chai 8 years. Na biko.
O nwere ihe ọzọ body court ma ọ bụ ndị anyị si ha chiba anyị. Ha dozi after of ndị tore ha akwụkwọ. Ịghọtago? And the ihe ya result abụrụ ihe ọdọ dịka nna eche. Ọ ga-eweta ọgbaghara because o tinye ego ọgbaghara between ndị na-agba fuel na ndị na-eme travel. Drivers na-agba fuel na ndị na-eme travel. Ọ ga-eweta ezigbote ọgbaghara. And o nwere ihe ọzọ a ga-eme ma ọ bụrụ ha nwa isi tie down chọba the solution for betterment. Ndị mmadụ na-anwụchisi n'agụụ isi ike here and there, and all fuel out the cost.
Talking about the fuel crisis, I think the government has to nip it at the bud because it's just not good at all. Nigeria being a major player in oil producing countries, among the oil producing countries, and now we have Dangote having the single largest oil refinery in Nigeria, in the whole world, that is in Nigeria, and Nigerians are still suffering for fuel. I mean, it's high time that the government work it out and find solution to it. People are suffering. People are suffering. The cost of this year has shoot up the cost of dollars and cost of foodstuff and so many things. How many jobs are available on the streets? People are suffering.
Okay, we'll welcome you back. It is still this Thursday morning, when we are looking at a very biting topic this morning that is, aggravating everybody wherever we are. That is the recent price in fuel, the causes and the consequences. Of course, you hear people talk in the street, you hear us talk here. At this stage, It's like you don't even know what to say again because it choke. Okay. So, please, gentlemen, I still have Asibe, Engineer Bertrand Asibe and Obinna Jesse with me. Let's see if there's any way out. Is there any, I'm starting with you, Jesse. What do we do? What do we do to ensure that we live a better life? Any alternative to this? Is our life going to be circulating around fuel and gas?
I think if I want to talk about what to do, I'll just focus on talking to my fellow Martins because I don't know if the government will have, whether whatever we say will enter their own ears. So let me talk to people that I know that will listen to me.
Please do.
You know, the truth is, these are realities that we don't have control over as masses. So what we need to do is to individually make adjustments, whichever way you can. If you check outside, you see the car parked outside. That's the one, it's part of the move to be able to subsidize things. You understand? Then if you know things that surround things you use in your house that is around fossil fuel, find a way to, if there's alternative that you can manage, go ahead and create the alternative. Then also activities, meetings, you can find a way to cut down on the ones you can go. The ones you cannot go, sometimes I don't go for functions a lot now. If you invite me, I'll just check how much. I'll just send you some money.
I have a wine carry today. I'm not going.
Yeah, so
I'm saving my fuel.
So as far as we are concerned, these are reality. Your salary have not changed, or your income have not changed, unfortunately. But what has changed is the cost of living. So just make adjustments the more you can. One thing I know in this life is the more you make adjustments. I've always been someone that try to live your life way lower than your income, so that it will be easier for you to make adjustments when the need arises. So I know everybody's feeling the pain, but people that will feel the pain more are people that will find it difficult to adjust to the present situation, because buying fuel now,
it's horrible. You heard what Bertrand, you heard what people say about how this thing is getting to people. Do you foresee any kind of consequence that this scarcity could lead to before you just advise some people?
Definitely, there is a break point. Okay, there's a level you will stretch people's patience and their pains. It goes beyond the elasticity and goes into break points. So we feel it, and it is biting. Man, why it pains us greatly is that we have enough refinery, 425,000 barrels per day. We have Dangote, 650,000 barrels per day. These things are more than enough for our needs, and then exports. Yet, we are passing through this experience. It is unfortunate and very painful. And that will aggravate the anger against government. So it could lead into an explosion, revolution, madness of a kind, even people behaving beyond normal balance. As a constitution said it. No. We have lived above that. Okay? So, there's nothing anyone can do. Then, in case of what we call trying to protect ourselves, trying to have something we can on our own do in order to sustain it, there is a limit to that. Because you didn't plan. Myself, I come back from work, I say, okay, let me take keke and be running around so that I can make up, do this. I was not fashioned to do that. There are people who are ready from ongoing and they adapted themselves to be doing that. I will work from morning till 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, come back tired. And what I'm earning is not enough for me. You want me to go out again, to start running around from 5 o'clock to 8. That is when people collapse. That is when bitterness comes into the family. So the whole family will become totally disintegrated. There will be anger, uproar in the country. Right? So these are social consequences that will come in. All right? So, and when we know that we have enough and we feel that our government is not responsive and responsible to take care of our citizens, it is very, very painful. I can't say the much of the consequence. It could result into other political, anything bad. Because an angry man, a hungry man is an angry man. And when you are angry, you can do something you regret ever doing.
And it hurts more.
And it hurts. So it's a thing that must be avoided. Government has to intervene. Enough is enough. Whatever they are gaining from what they are doing. You see, frankly speaking, what they are doing, they want to cover up their past mistakes. They are borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. And we are their market. They are doing business with Nigerians.
Nigerian lives.
Okay, Nigerian lives. They are doing business with Nigerian lives. Otherwise, why is House of Assembly not talking? Where are the regulatory bodies not talking? Nobody is talking. Something is happening, and all of them know what is happening. But it can't continue like that.
Okay. Thank you very much. You wanted to say something, just briefly. 1 second, please.
Okay.
We are complete out of time.
You know, why is as if this oil we are feeling it is just because of how close that is. If you actually look at every sector, you find out that government is not meeting up in any of them.
Okay.
Recently, I entered into agriculture. I still find out the same thing. The same issue we are complaining in oil, still the same thing we are complaining in agro sector.